Hi, I'm Lisa Greer.
And I'm Neil Greer.
And welcome to the Special Fam Podcast. We're here to talk to you about this podcast that we are starting to help build strong, meaningful relationships in family. I'm excited, and I hope you'll come along with us and learn about our team Greer and our family through this podcast. And Neil, why don't you help us dive into where we're going to go from here?
Yeah, so we've organized the show into several segments, and I think you and I just arrived at doing this show because even though we are entrepreneurs and business people, really we have a big passion for family, because if it wasn't for family, then we wouldn't be able to do the things that we're able to do. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. It is all about family. We have 4 kids and 30 years of marriage we've just celebrated.
Right, which feels like 5 minutes.
Yeah, it goes by in a flash. Time flies, right? We hear that all the time. So help me understand where we're going to go today with our origin story of this podcast.
Well, I mean, for me, it goes back to when you and I were at a coffee shop talking about, how we've been able to navigate some of the tough waters. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's all about, we're sailors, we're boaters, we love the ocean, and we've seen many tides come through our lives through our, these 30 years of marriage, and I do love the ocean and have a passion for it. So, dating, that's kind of where it all started for us down at USD, right? We were, that's how our relationship got started.
Yeah, absolutely. And when we talk about our relationship and how we were able to progress it and ultimately become a family, and we take it down to what are the steps that we had to navigate to make a strong family, we started realizing that, there's a lot of families out there and people who are in one phase of dating or the other, or trying to build a business, and it all does come down to family.
It does. I'm just thinking about why we're doing this. And I feel like after having 4 kids, Robbie's 22, Megan's 20, Mandy's 16, and Josh is now 10, we've learned a lot along the way. And I think that with today's Origin podcast, we can really add value and help you understand what were our wins and losses. And we've got a system set up here that we want to talk about. So Neil, walk us through how you see this segment.
Yeah, and at the coffee shop, we kind of came up with, a tagline. So, if you want me to, I can throw the tagline on the table.
Let me hear that tagline. What
Okay,
you got?
all right.
Give me a Neil nugget.
Yeah, we're here to help people develop strong, meaningful relationships and family that stand the test of time.
That's pretty good. I do like the sound of that. It's ringing in my ear.
Right.
So do you have like a system? You're a systems guy. I know you love to come up with like acronyms and, a system for success. Help me understand what you got there.
Yeah, and that goes back to our conversations along the way about, relationships are great, family's great, business is great, but where we think we can help people is by breaking it down into segments, into an offense, you will.
Football metaphor.
Yeah.
We've got a player. We've got our oldest just finishing off his football career at Cal Poly.
Right.
Go Mustangs.
Right.
And as a coach, you've coached Robbie since age 4, right?
And
lots of coaching expertise here.
When I met you, I wasn't thinking about, what to navigate, or I was just dumbfounded by, how good looking you are. And I wanted to come say hi.
Aloha.
And
college kids, college girl, walking down the street at USD on Loretta Street. There you were, just graduated.
Right. But at the end of, the day, once you start walking a relationship, you realize that you have to break it down into its functional components. So we're trying to do that with the show.
Okay. So keep it coming. What you got for me? Give me your. Isn't there like a system here of 5?
Yeah.
5 nuggets. What are those?
Well, overarching what we're calling our 5 C's, which we'll
Okay.
dive into, is dating. And we're passionate about dating. We're passionate about dating each other. Even though we're married, we date each other. And I think if you look at one theme that goes across family and business and even just relationships, is that you have to always be dating.
100%. You got to take the time. You got to make the time. You have to put it on your calendar. I literally put on my iPhone, date with Neil, Thursday night. Actually, it's Friday. We do Fridays because we have respite care for our special needs kiddo, Joshie. And I have date with Neil Friday, 5 p.m., right? It's like
Yeah.
you really do have to put it on your calendar or it's not going to happen.
Right.
Don't you think?
Yeah. And I
Trial close.
No,
No, it's true.
and I really appreciate that about you, and I really appreciate that we keep it on the calendar and underarching everything. Like people talk about, okay, how do you be successful in family, or how do you be successful in business? That really dating is a big theme. You managing a customer relationship is all about keeping that date going.
Right on. I hear you loud and clear on that. But so there's much more to this. Don't we have 5 nuggets that
Yes.
the dating thing is the overarching thing to get the relationship moving and grooving. But what are those 5? Help me understand this
Right.
system.
So
you've
let's
set up.
so let's break
'Cause
down.
it's working. It has worked for 30 years. But I want to really see from your angle, Neil.
Absolutely. So our 5 C's will break into the first C, which is what we believe is a strong underpinning of a family, which is celebrations.
Party on.
Celebrations is a big part of your personality.
Absolutely. We just, the holidays came and went and, celebrations. It's all about family traditions. And what do we want the most? We want experiences. The kids wanted to go to Magic Mountain. They're like, we don't want stuff. We want to go to Magic Mountain. I mean, yes, we want iPads and iPhones and all these electronic things. But at the end of the day, we all crave fellowship and time with other people. Those come through experiences, and that's
Right.
just what we did, right? We did the Magic Mountain, got the passes.
Yeah, and
That's fun.
the reality though is on our show, we're going to bring in celebrations of what you're doing. Okay, we're going to bring in celebrations of what we're doing, and foundationally, the reason why that tops the list is because if you're not celebrating as a family, you're probably growing stagnant.
That's so true. Birthdays, great way to always remember to celebrate. Anniversaries, we had our 30th anniversary. We celebrated, even though we didn't travel too far away. We do a lot of staycationing here in San Diego. But at the end of the day, celebrations are on the calendar, and it comes up every year. It's a constant reminder. So I 100% agree. We're the most passionate about celebrating our relationship and our family. So
Right. And why do you have a career? Why do you do these things? Because you want to celebrate with somebody.
yeah, I mean, being alone is good and having solitude is good, but at the end of the day, you're like, who am I having lunch with today?
Right.
Even at school, I'm like, who are you sitting with at lunch? You got to have your wing girl, your wing guy, your team, your tribe, right? We're building a tribe here, right? So celebrations,
Right.
nugget number 1 there is in the
It
clear.
underpins everything. And if you take time to make the basis of family celebration, and celebration can mean what it means for a business or a family. It can mean what it means for you. Even if you're by yourself, you can celebrate something.
Absolutely.
And
So
if
go
it
ahead.
makes sense for you,
Yeah.
we can dovetail that into the next C in our show segment,
Nice segue, which is
culture.
culture.
Right. So this is a fun one for us because, we realized that once the kids came along, and they got to a little bit of, an older age, that we had to start to teach them culture.
Yeah, and it happened elementary years. I mean, what do you think? I mean, it was really where we literally sat down as a family and we're like, let's come up with a team career culture. book, and we made a little flip chart, and it talks
Right.
about our mission statement and our vision for the family and the code
Yeah.
of each person in the family, which I thought was amazing.
Right, and we do it still today, and we don't have all the answers either.
Nope, don't
You
have
know-
nope. Learning something new every day.
Yeah, and what the reason why Special Fam is here is because to build a strong, meaningful family and relationships, you have to build culture.
How do you
And-
do that though?
Well, we're going to have guests on the show that educate us. We're passionate about it. I think for us, some of the little things that we did was, we built a book. We let
Put it on the fridge.
We lead
We
by
needed to implement the because the kids were like, "What is that?" Oh, there it is. But I think by whatever's on your fridge or whatever's in
Right.
front of you, you remember that. Post it in the bathroom or wherever your phone, the reminder for the day.
But we're going to end this show. We're going to always be delving into culture because we want to let you guys know things and systems and experts that help you develop culture. And everybody's got a different take on it. And so it's a big passionate thing for me because if you want to manage something or you want to grow something or you want to have something special one-on-one, ultimately culture drives a lot of it. And if you build it up, you can't have great celebrations if you don't have a culture. And you can't date somebody and celebrate with them if there's not culture.
What is the definition of culture? Like it's just if you had to like really say, it's like your vibe. Wouldn't you say
It's
your
your vibe.
code, your standards? How would you define it from
I would
Neil's nugget?
exactly the way you just said, which is Elisa's nugget. I would just add, dude. It's your vibe, dude.
Right, we're vibing. Like, yeah, the kids are all like, well, there's terms for this. We share with us. What is your term for a culture? But I would say that's a huge nugget. Number 2. Take
Yeah.
us to number 3, or where are we at here?
Well, number 3 in our C's, okay, is going to be caregiving.
Oh, the
So-
never-ending task.
So caregiving is something that you are amazing at.
You are too, Neil. Papa Greer over here.
Well, the reality is that we should talk and you should expound on
Yeah.
why you're passionate about caregiving.
Yeah, it is innate. I think just, having 4 kiddos, it just comes naturally, I think, to me, being raised in the Midwest and Wisconsin. I was raised in that just environment of learning how to be a caregiver. Girl Scouts, we were taught some of our badges. I remember I learned like caregiving skills, and I was so proud of my badges in the Girl Scouts that I earned. But at the end of the day, caregiving, I'm very passionate about because you're raising other people to be successful humans. And
yeah.
that's the highest calling, right? I mean,
Yeah.
don't you feel similar? Like it's the foundation of raising these kids and sending them off into adulthood is really a great calling.
And in order to deliver care, you have to have empathy.
Oh yeah, lots of it's putting the other first. They always give the airline example. To be the good caregiver, you got to take care of yourself first. Self-care, but then you can care for those around you. So yeah, empathy is putting that other person before you. The golden rule, putting others first, being selfless.
Yeah, and that's why it made our list.
Absolutely.
That's why it's the third C.
Yeah, and caregiving is so broad. With the 4 kids, 22, 20, 16, and 10, caregiving, when I was caregiving the most was, I think, when they were in elementary. With the 0 to 5, you're really caregiving full time and outsourcing if you have the ability to, or being home with them 100%. But I was doing that here in San Diego, and it was a huge blessing to choose to have that opportunity. But at the end of the day, those first 5 years of each of our children's lives, caregiving is so important, I've learned. And then the elementary years too, those caregiving years. And now as they're into high school and college, it's a letting go process. The Eagles, 2 of them are leaving the nest. But how would you sum up the whole caregiving? Because it's such a huge role for parents.
As families.
Or as anyone that you're caring for, older people, right?
Yeah, and I think one of the things that we're interested in having, guests on, we will have guests on the show to delve into what caregiving is as a more holistic concept for a family in general, because I think we can all do a better job of giving care to everyone. The kids can do a better job of giving care to their parents. And then as an extended family, we can do a better job of giving care to those that are aging or sick.
Yeah, absolutely. The sick. And with special needs, our youngest, caregiving is a 24/7 job for me and Neil and our whole family. And we're learning how to adapt to that as he matures and gets amazing, making great strides. But yeah, in summary, I would have to say caregiving definitely made the seeds because it's huge and so important. But take us on now. Should we segue on to our next C?
Sure. So, well, the first three C's wouldn't be complete without doing a little bit of a summation. So we, again, lead in with dating, because we're always going to be celebrating dating. We talk about celebrations on the show. We delve into culture. We talk about caregiving. And caregiving dovetails into the next C, which is comebacks.
I like that term.
Because you know what? Family and life is all about comebacks. You're constantly in a comeback mode. You're always taking on adversity. And we want to really discuss the topic of how to integrate comebacks into the conversation here.
Yeah, comebacks. I mean, it's like I'm thinking of Magic Mountain again with roller coasters. I mean, it really is like comebacks, the ebb and flow of life with raising kids. It's just never a dull day. You have to be ready for the unexpected. And I think celebrating comebacks and recognizing, wow, I got through that. We came back. Do you have any specific stories maybe from your personal experience of in our family that you want to share on the comebacks? Like,
well, to me, to me, when Joshua was born, and we had him,
our youngest.
Yes, our youngest Joshua, our blessed son. When he was born, and we were in the infant ICU, or the NICU as it's called, for 100+ days. Okay,
that was insane.
We were empowering him on his own comeback.
Yeah. Our book, Living Fierce, that I wrote, is all about that journey and that comeback of coming through the NICU 111 days and getting our diagnosis at a week old with Prader-Willi and autism spectrum a little bit later in his life. But that comeback, I think it really had an amazing impact on our family, Team Greer, and I think that with this podcast, we can use that comeback story to really add value to you out there, to teach you, show you what we went through, because there was a lot of pain and it's a lot of stress and struggle. But as a family, our culture, we came together and huddled up and we were able to get through it together, and we're still getting through and we're making progress. So yeah,
right,
that resonates.
Right. And caregiving and comebacks are part of the show, because when you spend your time dating and celebrating, building culture, and you think you're on cloud nine, okay? And then guess what? Dating, celebrations, culture leads to, building a family, and then, kids show up and
chaos. That didn't make the list, but no. Chaos.
Right. Well,
comeback,
that's where
chaos.
Right.
Comeback.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, that's
but then
where
we celebrate. We got through it. Right. And that's why you have to do the celebrations. You have to find the joy.
Yeah. Well, the joy is in having a framework and a system to be able to get through it.
Yeah.
So, like, for example,
there's the nugget.
Your passion and ability to stick in on something, your staying power. When you overlay that with a systematic approach to be able to chop through what's going on with you, you can get through stuff.
Amen. Yeah. The system helps me know, like working out at the gym, like, okay, if I just do this, this, and this, and this, and eat that, and do that, I have a system. If I follow it, I will succeed. It's going to help me. It's going to guide me like a compass.
Right.
Guides the ship.
Yeah. And, the reason why caregiving and comebacks are side by side is that, when you're giving care, you're going to bond up with the person that you're caring for, whether it's someone who is sick or elderly or, or young, whatever it is, or in a business,
Yeah. Coworkers.
whatever it is.
Workplace. Yeah.
You know?
100%. So in a business, speaking of business, that leads us, doesn't that kind of segue to the next nugget? Or are we ready to move on? We've covered comebacks.
Yeah, I think we did a good job. I just feel life is mostly all about comebacks. And, one of the things that you need to have in making a comeback is a team.
Amen.
And a family is a team. And whether, in the here, and you have to be in the here and now. You have to be in the right now.
And that's hard. As a caregiver, I have struggled with this, is how do you stay in the here and now when you're caregiving? It's really it's a minute-by-minute challenge to make sure that I'm not distracted with the iPhone and the phone and the interruptions, because there's interruptions everywhere around us with all of our social media now. And, I literally have to put my phone on Do Not Disturb and minimize all interruptions. So
right.
The system is the key.
And right. And comebacks, it would be easy to make, a big framework of our show, fitness and health, and which it is. But the reality is that health and fitness, the reason why we're going to delve into those in the context of, dating, celebration, culture, caregiving, comebacks is because it's one of those put your mask on first things.
Yes.
You can't have a comeback if not everybody can be, the pinnacle fitness person, but you do have to take care of you in a way that enables you to be functional, right?
Absolutely. Yes. 100%. I totally agree.
Which it's really hard to do that if you're not talking about the final C in our system, which is cash. And is cash self-image? Is cash importance? No, cash is the thing that helps you achieve your goals.
Liquidity.
Right.
Dinero.
And
money.
And as a family or as you need to take care of your resources so that you can do the things that you need to do.
I think it's clear, though. I always tell the kids, though, about the money is that it's not money that can be the evil thing. It's the love of money and finding a balance. Like, how do we teach the kids balance of, money's important, but it's not everything. It's not how do you, as Coach Neil, how have you coached our team, Greer, with the money thing? Because it's so important. I feel like you have some good financial expertise there.
Well, I think that what money is you have to give it a shape. You have to say, okay, let's take gas, gas in the tank. What is gas in the tank there to do? Get you from A to B.
Fuel the car, yeah.
Right? Now, you wouldn't take gasoline and somehow think that gasoline makes you whole as a person or gives you meaning.
But you need it to get there.
But you need it.
Or an electric vehicle, you need power.
Right. And
we have that too we're dealing with.
Right. And so without the resources and the ability to do that, you're going to run into difficulty. And so our system of the 5 C's and dating all around is how we're going to delve into telling people about what we think is a special fam. And we're really looking forward to having guests on the show to delve into these topics because, like we talked about, we're not the experts.
Nope. We've got graduate degrees. We worked hard, for our MBAs and
Yeah.
masters in entrepreneurship.
Yeah. But we're as passionate as the next person about opportunity and how do you bring opportunity to everybody, and passion for being good to people along with a system can produce a special family. It can produce a special family in your business. It can produce a special family with a loved one. It can produce a special family in a sports team.
It opens doors. would you
It
say,
opens doors.
At the end of the day, it gives you the tools to get from A to B, the gas in the tank. So yeah, I can't wait to learn more. I love learning. I just want to go back to school and learn more. Like, so that's another mission for this whole podcast is we just want to keep learning and growing and add value and share and help everybody else. If you want to come along and learn with us and tell us what you want to learn. So so we covered our 5 C's, right?
Yep.
And you summarized those really nicely. I've heard them many times, 3 times, right? Celebration, culture, caregiving, comebacks, cash, and dating is the bonus at the end and the beginning.
Yeah. Dating is all around it.
It's just you got to make sure you get the date in, right? Every week. And it doesn't have to be spending that money too. You can just be like going for a walk, if you can. Get outside and get some exercise together, have fellowship together, walk on the beach. I love just going down to Del Mar here in San Diego and just you and I walking on the beach. It doesn't have to be fancy, or it can be for celebrations or whatnot.
Right.
But at the end of the day,
dating is taking an interest in what the other person's doing. You know?
It's true. Looking at the other person, getting outside ourselves.
Right. Say, hey, would you like to grab lunch?
Yeah.
But not because you want to talk about what's all about you.
That's right.
It's easy to fall into that trap.
Yeah. It's get the other person talking and listen, and love. I mean,
Right.
That's kind of what I try to do when I'm talking to people, wherever I go, is everybody's got something that they can teach us.
Mm-hmm.
You have something to teach me. I want to know what you have that maybe you can help improve our team career. So I'm super excited that we got to do this podcast and this opening episode. I hope that you got some value out of it, and let's have some fun.
Yeah, absolutely. And, the next episode, if you want me to preview it just
please.
a little bit. Because
Show me the way, Neil. Sherpa Neil and Lisa.
Yeah, so in episode 1, we're going to talk about how we met and delve into a little bit more detail. It's kind of
this is
fun.
episode 000.
That's right. This is Origins.
Okay, got it.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah.
Yeah. So in episode 1, we're going to talk about how we met and talk about how our relationship came about. And we're hoping that's of value to you.
Yay. So excited. Stay tuned for the next episode of Special Fam and How We Met series. And we'll see you on the next video.